This is Wells Math, and I'm going to show you how to simplify fractions and how to put fractions in simplest form. So let's just get right to the point. I'm going to do like maybe 3 or 4 of these, and I think you'll have a good understanding at the end of this video. So let's just start off with, I'm going to start off with a basic one, a fairly easy one. And here it is. The fraction 10/20ths. All right, so when we're simplifying fractions and putting fractions in simplest form, what you're doing is thinking of a number that will divide evenly into both the numerator and the denominator. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that 10 is half of 20. You should know that by now. So the answer, the final answer to this problem is going to be 1/2. 1/2 is going to be the simplest form of 10/20ths. Okay, but let me show you how to get there, and you can do it a couple different ways. First of all, if you can think of the biggest number that will divide into both your top and bottom number, you can find simplest form in just one step. Obviously, when I'm thinking of the number 10 and the number 20, I'm saying, well, 10 will divide into 10 one time, and 10 will divide into 20 2 times. So when we write this out, 10 divided by 10, like I said, is 1. 20 divided by 10 is 2, and there is your 1/2. So we just simplified this fraction, which means we just kind of made the number smaller, which means it's simpler, I guess, and we got our simplest form. But let me show you another way you could do this. Let's just pull up the same fraction here. Remember, you're thinking of a number that will divide into both. Well, some of you might say, well, both of these numbers are even numbers. So I know the number 2 can divide into every single even number on the face of the planet. So I've had kids do it like this before. They say, well, 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 20 divided by 2 is 10. Okay. Now, we did technically just simplify this fraction 10/20ths, but it is not yet in simplest form. We know simplest form was 1/2, like we just talked about. But look, we know that 5 is half of 10. So we can still simplify this fraction. So we would think about what is a number that will divide evenly into both 5 and into 10. Well, first thing that popped in my head is, hey, 5 will go into 5 one time, and 5 will go into 10 2 times. So when we work these, 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So look, either way you do it, you still get the end result of 1/2 as your simplest form. Okay. Like I said, if you can think of the biggest number that can go into both of these, also known as the GCF, the greatest common factor, then you can find simplest form in one step. But if you do it like this and need to do it in 2 steps or maybe even more, totally fine. You still get the same answer in the end. Let's try another. 14/21. We want to simplify this. We want this fraction in simplest form. If you know your multiplication facts, this is so much easier. So if you don't have those memorized yet, that's cool. But I would spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes a night just studying those. If you do know your multiplication facts, there's probably a number popping in your head right now, and you're saying, wait a minute. I know that the number 7 will divide into both of these, 14 and 21. Okay. Because I know that 7 times 2 is 14. So that must mean 14 divided by 7 is 2. And I know that 7 times 3 is 21. Well, that must mean that 21 divided by 7 is 3. Now, actually, the number 7 is the only number that will divide evenly into both 14 and 21. So there was only one possibility with this fraction, to simplify it and to put it into simplest form. 14/21 is equivalent to 2 thirds. All right, let's try another. 24 over 32. Once again, if you know your multiplication facts, there's probably some numbers going through your head right now. But like I said earlier, if both of your numbers are even numbers, your numerator and denominator, you know you can at least divide by 2. You can tell if any number is even just by looking at the last digit of the number. I don't care how big the number is, even if it's a number in the millions. If the last number is an even number, 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, the entire number is even and therefore can be divided by 2. So we could divide this by 2, but I'm thinking of a bigger number. If I can find the biggest number that will divide into both of these evenly, I can get simplest form in just one step. And I know that 8 will divide into both of these numbers. So I'm just going to divide by 8 on top and bottom. 24 divided by 8 is what, 3? And 32 divided by 8 is 4. If there were 32 candy bars and you ate 24 of them, you probably need to get on a treadmill, but it means you ate 3/4 of all the candy bars. Okay. Let's try one more. I hope you're writing these down. It's always good to have a reference. This stuff is not overly difficult if you've got some practice, but it's easy to forget. So I would always write some little samples down in your notes. Let's do one more. 18 over 36. Okay. I'm looking at both of these numbers, and you know what? I don't want to think a lot. That's very common in my world. So I know both of these numbers are even because they both end in even numbers. So I'm just going to divide by 2. Okay, not sure if that's going to put me in simplest form in just one step, but at least we're simplifying this fraction and making the numbers a little bit smaller to work with. 18 divided by 2, if you don't know what it is, get out your calculator. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 36 divided by 2, I'll be honest, I'm not even sure what that is. So I'm going to get out my calculator real quick. 36 divided by 2. Okay, and I get 18. Huh, okay, I'm starting to see something now. All right, so I've simplified, but I'm looking at 9 and 18 and saying, wait a minute, I see a really good relationship between those two numbers. I know the number 9 will divide into 9, and I know that the number 9 will also divide into 18 perfectly. Okay. When I'm thinking about division, I'm really thinking about multiplication because multiplication is the opposite of division. You work this problem, 9 divided by 9 is 1, and 18 divided by 9 is 2. So actually, I didn't realize this when I started this problem. 18 over 36 is actually equivalent to 1/2. Okay. If there's 36 animals on the farm and 18 of them are little piggies, then that means half of the animals on the farm are little piggies. I hope this explained a little bit more about simplifying and putting fractions in simplest form. Be sure to check out more of my videos. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's @WellsMath. Hope you have a great day.